Alright, we're going to turn on the scale here, and now this is the balance of my dough. And again, we're using the same dough for bagels and for the sandwich thins. These are going to be 2.8 ounces. I nailed that one right on the first giddy up. So we ended up with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. That's close to a dozen. So I'm just going to go ahead and again, just like it did with the sandwich thins, you want to get these shaped into a ball. So I'm not going to keep burning footage here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and get them shaped and let them relax. Alright, the next step with our bagels is, again, we're going to take the dough and going to just flatten it out with the heel of the hand. Alright, again, we're going to let this sit for a few minutes and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've given these a couple of minutes. Now we're going to make the bagel look like a bagel. There's several ways to do this. Some people like to take the dough and roll it out and then turn it over their hand and pinch the end of the dough. I don't like the way the shape of that comes out. So what I do, and make sure your fingernails are clean when you start in your hands. I recommend not to wear any jewelry when you're baking dough because flour and everything gets in it. Anyway, you look for the dead center on this piece of dough and come down to your work surface, whether you got a cutting board or whatever, and that puts the initial hole in the bagel. And then you just kind of spread it out a little bit. And this is neat. I saw this on a YouTube video and I've been using it ever since. You put 2 fingers in and then you start to roll. And you don't stretch your fingers out too harsh because you can tear the dough. But you get it out into the shape of a bagel. And you can take this dough, it's not going to be even all over, but you have enough ability here to move the dough around and to come up with a bagel, which you will put on your cornmeal dusted parchment paper pan. Okay, we're going to let the fun begin here. Getting the bagels. We've got a 5-quart pot and a rolling boil, to which I'm going to add a generous tablespoon, almost 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. It's going to give a little sweetness to the skin on the outside of the bagel. Give that a little stir with the spider. This is a good tool for doing this, as well as any Asian cooking that you might be doing, but it works real well for this. And you can see that the bagels have risen nicely. They've been sitting out there for probably about 45 minutes, 30-45 minutes. I didn't keep track of it. So anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to take these. This is where you get the texture, the chewy texture on the outside of the bagel, is in the boiling. So lightly pick these up and set them in the water. I like to just do 3 at a time because they're going to expand. The yeast is going to be working inside there with this really hot water, and you can almost see before your eyes that they're getting larger and larger. Need about 15-20 seconds, and then what I do is I take the corner and just hit it and flip them over. This way you're getting the exposure to the hot water on both sides equally. And again, you can watch these, they're still growing a little bit. And it doesn't take a real long time, I guess less than a minute. And then I get them back to the other side. And boy, you could look and see how they've puffed up. They really gotten nice. So then you take and put them on a screen to dry. We want to get a lot of that water off. Try not to allow them to touch each other because they will stick. Now what we're going to do is going to put a little bit more cornmeal, coarse cornmeal on here, just so that these guys don't stick. And then lay them on there. And like we did with the sandwich thins, I'm going to go ahead and put some egg wash on each of these. So again, I'm going to do some in poppy seed and some, actually not too many in poppy seed because we really like the sesame seed, but just to show you can do anything you want with these. I would just do 3 of them, and then, since we like these so much. And now we're going to go ahead and pop these into the oven at 400 degrees for 25 minutes and then take a look at them and see if they're ready. Again, I'll do a rotate about halfway through to make sure that they bake even. Okay, we're down to the end here, the last segment of this video. The bagels turned out beautiful. They're nice and cool. I think they've been sitting around for about 45 minutes, so I was doing other things. They got a nice shine to them from the egg wash. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this guy in half. And as long as I'm cutting, I want to explain. Bread should always be cut with a serrated knife. That's one of the things they were designed for, and they do exceedingly well. It will not tear the bread. If you use a standard knife like this, you're going to tear the crumb when you try to cut. So even, you know, the cheap Ginzu knife that you could get at different shows and stuff, anything with a serrated edge is what you want to use. So, boy, look at that. We got plenty of nice open crumb in there, and now I'm just going to pop these guys in and hit it on the bagel setting. And thank you very much for watching this. This is my first YouTube video, and I do plan on making some more. I'm going to be doing no-knead bread and some other interesting things down the road. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch, and I hope you enjoy making sandwich thins and bagels for a good long time for yourself.